is carried. And so now we'll move on to the hearing of the submissions, and as I say, they sort of mix between climate change and long-term plans. So I'd like to invite Ruth Sharr to come forward. Kia ora and welcome.
Hello, I'm not Ruth Sharr.
Oh.
But I am. We did a joint presentation, so I'm Jo Robertson. Yeah, so I'm speaking on behalf of our presentation. All right, so I'm representing parents and residents of the Addington community, and we've come together this year as a group because we're concerned about the safety of Brougham Street. So I've been to various things and talked to some of you before about this. So Brougham Street, State Highway 76, cuts through our community, and the volume of traffic on that means it separates our community and makes it a dangerous space for us as we walk our children to school and back and go shopping. We have a lot of vulnerable people in our community. So that's the background to why we're submitting. So in terms of climate change, we really support that emphasis on sustainability, and we support what you're doing. We would like to see changes to the whole transport system, and a transport system that prioritises people over vehicles. So we'd love to see cars de-emphasised, including electric cars. So electric cars are still cars. So switching one car to another car won't change things for our community and the dangers on the roads. We'd love to see effort put into infrastructure that encourages active transport, so scooters, bikes, walking. We'd love to see a mode shift for our freight off our roads onto trains, so that we're removing trucks and the pollution, the danger that they bring off our roads. And we really support the efforts towards commuter bus services, so more frequent, cheaper, more accessible bus services. We think all those things would make a difference to the sustainability of our city, but they would also make a real difference to our communities. They make our communities better places to live, more accessible, easier to get around, and they're supporting our vulnerable people who don't necessarily have access to cars, who walk our streets, and we need those communities to be safe. So the other big thing we talked about was around justice issues. So just briefly, we would love you to think about justice issues in the world beyond us. So shifting to things like electric cars and electric vehicles means somebody overseas is making those, mining the minerals for them. Who are they? How are they being treated? Just by switching to electric vehicles means we haven't necessarily solved sustainability issues worldwide. So, thanks.
Thank you very much, and I did note your comments about the 880
Yes.
city approach too. And
yes.
yeah, oh sorry, Tim.
Yeah, and we've worked with you with regards to Addington School. Do you know how Waltham, because that's another school very close to Brougham Street and who's a neighbourhood cut in half by it many years ago. Do you know how they are faring with regards to their concerns with Brougham Street?
Their situation is very, very similar to ours,
Yes.
in that the Brougham Street has cut straight through our communities, and half of us live on one side and half on the other. So the same thing, if there's just such a huge volume of traffic, it means both Addington and Waltham are vulnerable communities with a lot of vulnerable people, and the transport system that we have now means that our vulnerable people are really disadvantaged in that system. It's hard for us to cross the roads and connect together and build tight communities. Yeah, so Waltham is very similar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, yeah, no, thank you very much for your submission. We're very mindful of the challenges of having a state highway bisecting the city in the way that it does, and the impact it has on communities. So thank you very much for raising that in the context of the climate change submission strategy.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.